Hello there everybody, welcome back to another Train Sim World 5 video, and I believe this may be on the Dovetail Games sale event, so thanks again to the lovely guys and ladies at Dovetail Games for giving us a chance to come back on and show another route. So we're going to be doing the West Coast Main Line south. We're going to do a run in the 390 down to London Euston here from Milton Keynes Central, so sort of end to end. And then we'll probably jump into the 377, which is the sort of commuter train, and do a service maybe from Wembley up to Watford Junction. So let's get in. We'll get the train all set up, which is not really too much to do. This is all optional, popping on all of this stuff. So if you're new to the game, you don't actually have to do all of this. Just getting some of the safety systems on. Okay, I think that's all of them on here. Let's do the TPWS, that to normal. There's one up here as well. Yeah, there we go. Cool, that's all sorted. We should also get a little alarm in a second. I don't know if that's already gone off for the tilting system. If I set that to forward, will that then go off? There we go. And put it back to neutral. Cool. Now we wait. So we're due out shortly, but this is the 390. So the 390 is not actually included with the West Coast Main Line South. You have to have the West Coast Main Line South, and then the 390 is a separate DLC. This is one of the base trains. That's the 350. You get the 350, the 377, and the 66, I believe, as base trains. And then yeah, this is DLC. Which, to be honest, is quite smart from Dovetail, because literally everybody who wants the West Coast Main Line South wants the 390. So you have to get the route and then you have to get the train. So good from a business point of view. Right, 10 more seconds, or let's get the door shut now. Right, close doors. You've got the speed set on here as well, which comes in very handy. Doors are shut. GSMR's on. We are fast to London Euston, although we are due there in about 40 minutes. So it's a slightly slower service than usual. Wait for all of those to go out. Right, let's get going. There you go. Yeah, alright, you've gone off enough now. Just acknowledge it. Right, and go. There you go. So now we got our TAS system on, which basically just allows you to go to higher speeds than normal trains, because this train tilts. So the TAS system allows us to do that, or allows us to safely do that. Let's make our way out. It's a very easy train to drive, and to be honest, this route is easy to drive in this train. It's basically 125 miles an hour most of the way with the tilting. And you got licensing on here, Avanti West Coast. It is fully officially licensed. The FPS doesn't like it too much, does it? What's going on? There we are. And we're off. Nice. Hopefully audio is all good. Cool. But yeah, Avanti's the 390's licensed. 377's got Southern branding. It's the main operator which isn't officially licensed yet. That being London North Western Railway. So the Class 350, which is the other train we saw back at Milton Keynes, that doesn't have any company name on it yet. But I think they are trying to get the licensing for it. Oh, there's the one of the safety systems there going off, just to make sure we're still alive, we're still here, we're still kicking. Yes, there's a slightly longer service than usual. So I'd imagine somewhere along here we might follow another train, because this is rush hour. It's 7:54. So this would sort of be prime rush hour getting into London. speed up. About going 80 miles an hour now. And the timetable is set in 2024, I believe, so that's the sort of a modern timetable for it. Well, that does mean Southern only goes to Watford Junction. One other thing to note, for this specific video, we are on the West Coast Main Line South 2024 timetable, the Cargo Line Volume 4 intermodal timetable, so we might see some container trains, which is another DLC you can get. Although I'm not sure if that one's on the sales because that's a new DLC. Coming up to Bletchley. And again, we are playing HUDless. You don't have to play like this. You can turn all of these bits and pieces on. But my personal preference on this game is doing that, because it just looks so much better. And this route's easy, so... yeah, it's like 125 most of the way. Well, it's 2/3 of the way. 115 we're currently doing, so once we get to about 123 or so, we'll come down here and click the speed set button, which will then basically hold us at 125. I think it rounds down or up to the nearest 5. Cool. Alright, there we go. And let's click the speed set button. So that should now, well, it should try and keep us at 125. This one is quite good at doing that. Well, some of these speed sets on some trains, you set it to a certain speed and it goes way over. But yeah, this one's quite good. And it's not really up-down route, this one either, so it's quite good at keeping you at that speed. Yeah, this is top speed on this route, 125 miles per hour. Whether you think that's fast or not. I mean, for UK, it's fast. Well, I suppose if you compare it to our European counterparts, it's probably quite slow. You've got the TGV where it goes up to 200 miles per hour, and this is just 125. Which that is another train you can get on TSW, is the TGV Duplex on the LGV Mediterranean route. So you can do German high speed, French high speed. See, this bit is one of the mad differences in speeds. If you're a non-tilting train, so basically if you can't go like that round the corners, it's 90 miles per hour. But for us, it's still 125. It's crazy. 35 mile per hour difference. I think it probably is the biggest difference along this route in terms of speed between tilting trains and non-tilting trains. So I guess that's where you floor it around here. Coming up on Leighton Buzzard. Because we're not touching the controls, that's why that beeping keeps going off. Again, just to make sure we're still here. Very impressive though this is. And this is Leighton Buzzard. There's a 390 service, probably chasing yellows as it follows that 350 service. And we then come round here, then we're sort of on a long straight all the way down to Cheddington. You've got loads of stations on this route, absolutely loads. Not so many on this part of the route though. Like the main sort of big stations, which we'll be stopping at, are, well, Milton Keynes of course, but actually Leighton Buzzard, Cheddington, Tring, Berkhamsted, Hemel Hempstead, We've got Apsley, Kings Langley, Watford Junction, Bushy. What's the sort of next big one after that? Harrow and Wildstone, Wembley Central, and then from there fast down to London Euston. Oh, there's actually another train included with this route. I always forget about it. It's a really good one. You get the 1972 London Underground stock. As for part of this route between Queen's Park and Harrow and Wildstone, there's a London Underground line. Well, it's above ground, but yeah. So you also get the 1972 tube stock. So you're actually getting, what, 4 trains on this route. Yeah, the 66, 350, 377 and the 1972 stock. And this is then extra DLC, the 390. So yeah, lots of different trains. So it's I'd say quite well worth it. There's the case. Come to Bug the Driver, Cheddington. And outside of the sort of the main stops, you've then got the Watford DC line stops and the London Underground stops, which add a whole load more. So you've got South Hampstead, Kilburn High Road, Queen's Park, Kensal Green, not Kensal Rise, Kensal Green, Woolston Junction, Harleston, Stonebridge Park, North Wembley. What's after that? South Kenton, what's after that? Headstone Lane, Hatch End, Carpenter's Park, Watford High Street. Yeah, they're sort of the other stations. Ones we hadn't mentioned before. So you get loads, just absolutely loads. And there's the route map. So Milton Keynes up there, Euston down there. So sort of the busiest part of the route is from Euston up to Watford Junction, which is here. That's your busy bit with your tube trains, overground trains. Although to make things a bit more, I'm probably making it overcomplicated here. But on Train Sim World you get layers. So if you own other DLCs, the trains from that DLC can then come over to this DLC. So for this route, if you own the Goblin line, which is Gospel Oak to Barking Riverside, you can then get the London Overground trains on this route, which then run between Euston and Watford Junction. So yeah, quite a bit goes on here. It is one of the busier UK routes. And it's a lot better now. When this route first released, it was one of the base routes for Train Sim 5. Not really in the best state, but it's had updates, new timetable, so it's a lot better now, this route. Although FPS is suffering a little bit, which is surprising. So that's at 4750. I'm being a bit cheeky, I'm actually recording this on PS5 Pro. Although if you're on Steam, it's the same thing. The product doesn't differ between platforms. Well, unless you're on PS4 or Xbox One. Yeah, alright, okay. Not too far to Berkhamsted, which is another one of those sort of not iconic spots on the route, but a lot of people like to watch trains at Berkhamsted in real life, as you get a proper corner coming round it. I'll try and get a flyby shot in a second, although in this train it's slightly harder because we are only going 5 miles per hour slower than the free camera, which I'm pretty certain goes at about 130. So we're only just about going quicker. So, to try and get a little bit ahead. I don't even want to do it before Berkhamsted though. Maybe. Let's get a little bit ahead. I bet I'll do this and then accidentally press the analog stick and it'll put us back in the cab. I don't press any of the analog sticks. Yeah, there it goes. So again, it goes pretty quick. It's not a slow train, not a slow route. And to us, even doing that train, the 350, it's not that slow. I mean, they go up to about 110 on the fast lines. Again, literally at bang on 125. The speed set is really good on this train. So Hemel Hempstead up next. But yeah, once we get down to Euston, we'll hop into 377 and we do Wembley up to Watford Junction, which is where the 377s run on this route. Which is about, what, 15 minutes? So this is about 41, 42, 43. But yeah, sort of to build it up to an hour, that would be quite nice. Right, so once we get, well, we do actually have to start thinking about our speed fairly soon. Not just yet, but after we get past Kings Langley station, we need to come down to 110. It's either 110 or 115. We've got to come down to. I think I always come down to 110, then it's actually 115. But we've got to slow down anyway. So that was Hemel Hempstead, and Apsley station is sort of just round the corner. Yeah, loads of traffic though, loads of trains, not a shortage of them. Let's give this train a little toot. It's a good horn on this one. Through Apsley. Okay, FPS is a little bit dodgy on this one. There's a 390. Well, I suppose we are running out of rush hour, so there's a few more trains out and about. Hopefully it's coming up all right on your screens. Right, let's put that to off. Speed set will now deactivate. Just a gentle bit of braking. I think I'll press on it. Is it 115? Well, we'll come down to 110, just to be on the safe side. I love playing HUDless. So HUDless is the best way to play this game if you want the sort of the full experience out of the sim. As I mean, think about it, in real life, drivers aren't going to have some HUD in front of them saying, you know, 2 miles to the next stop. Unless you're in Germany, then you get the Ebula system, which is basically a HUD. But for UK trains, the drivers have to have route knowledge. So the speed limit's about to start. 110. Oh, that's good then. Well, we're at 108 at the moment, so that's perfect. There's no sort of enhanced speed limit here, so the little speed supervised light's gone out. As we just get the same speed as the other trains here. Not going to set the speed set because it doesn't last for long. And then we come out of this tunnel, and then we then go through Watford Junction, which some of these fast services do actually stop at Watford Junction. So always sort of check your schedule. As yeah, some trains do stop at Watford Junction, these fast ones. Not many, but a few. So don't be caught out by it. It's like I was playing Great Western Express many moons ago, years ago. I think back in 2020. And this is Watford Junction, so we'll do a little blast of our horn through here. Yeah, it's playing Great Western Express, and some of the HST service, some of basically some of the fast trains on there, which usually go point to point non-stop. Some of them stop at like this mid station called Slough, and I remember I think I even had the HUD on, but just didn't clock we were stopping at Slough, so went straight through it. Might be for the best though to go straight through it. So yeah, always just double check you're not stopping at Watford Junction. An easy one to miss, because well, not a lot of stops there on the fast. Pretty certain that was 125 there. It's one of those little tiny diddy speed boards, so I'm pretty certain it was 125. So we shall speed up. I'm very much expecting to see yellows at some point on this trip, considering it said it would take 40 minutes this run. And it's only been 22 minutes so far. At some point I reckon we're going to catch up to another train. Now we'll be following it. Unless there's just a lot of leeway on this timetable. So you'll see the London Overground trains on the right hand side, and you may even see some Class 378s as well, as I do have the North London line installed. Which is a line I've not driven for quite a while. There's so many like good lines now on this game, it's hard to get round to all of them. So the North London line, that's a good one. I haven't played it in like 2 months or something like that, or over a month or so. There's just so many good ones to get round to. So many routes in this game now. Obviously constant new content as well coming out. On a speed set, there we go. So that's the train you'll get if you own the Goblin Line DLC. You'll see it on this route if you're on PS5, Xbox Series and PC. And then quite soon we may start seeing the London Underground trains. As we are approaching Harrow and Wildstone, might see one in the turn-back siding. Don't think anything. Oh no, there is something there. Yeah. So this is the top end of the Bakerloo line. So if you like your London Underground, well, there it is. In fact, you got all train. That is a 377 there. Nice. The 377 is my favourite train on this route. That's the best one. I'm sure a lot will say otherwise. But another 710 and another underground train already. Absolutely loads. But it's a bit of a weird one, the Bakerloo line on this route, because there actually is a Bakerloo line DLC, which gives you the full route from Elephant and Castle all the way up to Harrow and Wildstone. It's about 5 years old now, but then this route gives you half of the Bakerloo line from Queen's Park to basically the overground section of it, but upgraded, updated. So the Bakerloo line DLC, the actual one, is a bit like, there's not really much point to it unless you want to drive from Queen's Park down to Elephant and Castle. I was doing a full run on the actual Bakerloo line DLC from Elephant and Castle to Harrow and Wildstone would just be dead, because it's old. Good question though to those of you who have played the game for quite some time. Do you still play the Bakerloo line DLC, or do you just jump on this route and do it on here? This is Wembley Central. Speed does start to drop soonish, so just a tiny bit of brake. Cool. And this may be possibly one of the last videos you see. No, probably it'll be near enough one of the last videos you see from me with this background. Because as of this video going out, which I believe is the end of June, I'm actually going to be moving out of this place into a new place. So you may notice a few changes to the background for the next event video, whenever that will be. Oh, there's the, hang on, the FKAs, ain't those ones? Yeah, the FKAs. Come down to about 100 now. The speed is 110 for us, but that does start dropping fairly soon. I think 80 is the next limit. I think that's near Queen's Park. And there's two different variants of the 390. There's a 9 coach and an 11 coach. The -0 or the /0 and the /1. It did say it was going 41 minutes, this service, but it's not. It shouldn't take us 15 minutes to get to Euston from here, unless we sit outside the station randomly for about 10 minutes. I can't see how it's going to take that long. I think we slowed down a bit too much there. I would stay at 80. That'll do. Yeah, unless we wait outside the station for ages. If not, this is a very lenient service when it comes to the timetable. This is Queen's Park. So this is where the Bakerloo, we say goodbye to the Bakerloo line. It dips under the city. Although on this DLC you can't drive it under the city to Elephant and Castle. For that you need the actual Bakerloo line DLC. There's the 80. And down to 50 next, I think, 50. We were a little cheeky there. We were going about 82 over that 80 limit. Yeah, 50 next. So I think that's coming into the tunnel near South Hampstead. Got the very brutalist flats here. This is South Hampstead on the left, and if you're driving the overground lines, you get the really weird tunnel you have to go through. About 55, but then down. It'll come down even more. So so many different lines you have to know on here. There's the up fast, the down fast, the up slow, the down slow. There's the Watford DC lines. And all the lines have different limits to make things more confusing. I was going to say, I don't think that's the end of the tunnel there. That's the end of the tunnel. But we are getting, I mean, this event again is going to be the end of June, so we are getting now to the sort of, yeah, building up for the, well, I assume there'll be some sort of summer release for this game. I wonder what it will be. Or summer release for this franchise. Could it be TSW 6? I wonder. Well, we're still getting greens. Yeah, it did say 41 minutes, this service. I thought we might stop at Watford Junction on this one, but, well, we didn't. Knowing the Camden Road sidings over there on the right, where the 350s are stored. Very nice. So it comes down to 40, and then down to 25. 25 into Euston. Some platforms are 25 and some are 15. Although really we want to be going 15 into the platform, because it's got buffers at the end. Double yellow. Pretty certain this clears us into the platform. So the next one should give us our platform indicator. Or route indicator for platform. $40 or not? Maybe is there another set of signal? No, there might be another set beforehand. So we might have to wait. Oh no, no, platform 1. Yeah, so that was not 41 minutes as it suggested it would be. Single yellow, there you go, just about for the 25. Well, coming up to Euston. Yeah, then we'll jump in the 377 and do a service up to Watford Junction from Wembley. See the London, see the Shard just about pointing out over there. Look at Euston though, what a lovely looking station. I mean, it's not one of the nicest stations in London, that's for sure. But sort of the stat approach of all the lines, and also one thing to quickly show you is here. That you got third rail, 750 volt DC power. That's for the Watford DC line, and then you've got the overhead cables as well. Let's quickly get a little shot as we're coming in. So we haven't actually got one yet. This is photo mode, so you can actually change the time of day, etc. on here, which I might cheekily do. That lighting doesn't really look that good. Even that's a bit pants. That's a bit better. Less blinding. So, oh, that wasn't meant to happen. I don't happen there. It's like the game sort of froze for a second. It was like, oh, I wonder what to do. We're going at 15 miles an hour into here. As in real life, well, even in the game, I think they're simulated. You've got TPWS, Train Protection Warning System, so if you're going too fast up to a buffer stop, it will slam the emergency brakes on. Again, if you're new to the game, you don't have to turn all of these things on. They're all from this panel up there where we turned on all the bits at the beginning. So that's why trains go really slow into end stations. And also because, well, there's a buffer at the end, so you don't want to be going fast. But it varies by stations, because some of them, well, it's 15 miles an hour you should be going into the platform. But I think for some stations it's like 5 miles an hour. The TPWS grid. Some are 10. It sort of varies. We've got a bit of a nose on this train as well. Basically, once we can't see that buffer, we'll stop. There you go. Here we are, neutral, and open the doors. And we'll set the tail lights because, well, we can't go forward now. So, if we go forward, we hit the buffer and cause mayhem. Nice, well that was fun. Well, that was the fast train, and now we're going to do one of the slower trains. Not the slowest, but one of the slower ones. I'm sort of tempted to do the 1972 tube stock now, but then I did say we do the 377, so we'll do the 377. So that's like a massive difference, you know, going from the Pendo to 72 stock. There we are. Cool, that was fun. Right, and you see we were a little bit late to the 80. Right, let's return to timetable. And yeah, we'll jump in the Electrostar. I think if we did do a Bakerloo service, we would just about tick over, or at least we'd go over our slot. So we'll go in the Electro and the Electrostar. Once it loads us out. Always takes longer to load out than load in on this game. Loads all the menu. Slowly. But it gives you a look at the other trains, I suppose, in TSW5. Right. So again, these are the trains included with the routes. The 350, 377, 66, and the 72 stock up here. Everything else, well, the 390 is DLC, and all of the other bits are just extras you get from other routes. 377, 15 minutes, that's perfect. Watford Junction to East Croydon. Let's do an down service. That'll do. We'll put dynamic weather on actually. Let's see what it does. Sometimes it can change rapidly and sometimes it doesn't at all. As we load in. Look at that screenshot. That's like the best screenshot I've ever seen of TSW. That one. It's really good. Right, East Croydon, Watford Junction, obviously running from Wembley Central. So this is the 377, so this is your commuter train. It doesn't have as many services on this route, but it's, yeah, it's one of the commuters. Let's do that. It's a train I rather like. Let's do that, because I am on them all day, basically my office. Let's do that. Let's do the doors. And we got a /2 for this as well. Cool. But I'd say this is easier to drive than the 350. Now they're both, the 350 and this both just have like a controller like that, but this one I feel is easier to drive. Here comes the 350, speaking of which. So again, that's the other commuter train on this route. That's your main one. But we haven't actually got time to do a full service in that now. Deafening everybody with the horn. So this train's dual power actually. So you can see you've got the shoe there. That would run on juice rail, or third rail. So yeah, that little shoe, keep that in mind, that would run on this third rail. But it also has the pantograph, which allows us to run on, well, juice wire, 25 kV overhead power. We're going to be calling at Harrow and Wardstone and Watford Junction. Let's get the door shut. And let's go. Get the that open as well. This was actually the first train I drove on this route when it I was very lucky enough, very fortunate enough to visit Dovetail Games before before TSW5 come out. Went to visit them, which was very nice of them. First train I drove on the route. Now, not the 390, not the 350, the 377. There we go. Actually, generally was the train I was most excited for. Which is a bit sad because it's been in the game already, but it's a different subclass. Cool. Now this is another part of the route you've got to be careful of. You've got to remember to stop at Harrow and Wildstone. Because I'm so used to playing on the Bakerloo line and the Watford DC, which I'd say we do more often, where it takes, what, 10 minutes from Wembley Central up to Harrow and Wildstone. Whereas when you're in this train, it takes literally 2-3 minutes. So you come across it really quickly and it's like, oh, what, we're here already. There's South Kenton already. Let's get the window up. 100 mph speed limit. Got a 60 shed coming down, as they are affectionately known as. And I wonder if it'll be the FKAs as well. Oh no, it's HOAs. Cargo Line Volume 2. Again, not sure if that DLC will be on sale, but if it is, really, really recommend that. Cargo Line Volume 2. That is the best Cargo Line pack, in my eyes. Right, we'll get to, well, we're about 85, so we'll just keep it at 85 for now. There's Kenton, so we're not that far off Harrow and Wildstone. Actually, it does come up quite quickly. And fun fact, well, but you can actually drive this service. You can drive another part of this service in the game. You can actually drive the other sort of, well, basically you can drive what 2/3 of this service in the game. That being, if you own the Brighton mainline route, you can drive from Clapham Junction to East Croydon. So you can do that bit and you can do this bit, you just can't do the middle bit, which is between, well, Wembley and Clapham. And if you like this specific train, you're in luck, because there's quite a lot of routes with this train. East Coast Way, Brighton Main Line, and well, this route. And South Eastern High Speed, which has the 375, which is basically the same train, just with different couplers. No stop marker here, it's just to the end. Here we are, this is Harrow and Wildstone. On time, nice. So this train is officially licensed. You've got Southern branding. And it's also the new Southern logo, or the newer style of Southern logo. Whereas on, I think, the East Coastway and Brighton Mainline routes, you've still got the old Southern logo. Or the one which is lesser used. But there is one unfortunate thing, though, about this route. Oh, that's Selhurst. That's like the depot code. So this is Selhurst, this one. Whereas the ones on East Coastway and Brighton Mainline, I think they've got, is it BN for Brighton? Something like that. Well, the trains actually don't have these. I don't think many of them have these anymore. Right, let's get the doors shut. unless it was not really taking you notice, but I don't think many of them have those stickers anymore. Right, let's go. We're off onwards to Watford Junction. What the hell was that? That was weird. Almost felt like wheel slip, but we're only in power notch 2. Or did we go into 3? Oh, it is wheel slip. Oh, we're all good. Out we go. All the different trains there, look at that. Loads. There's another one. Oh, look at that flying along. Awesome. And another train. Can't remember what I was saying now. What was I saying? Oh, let me turn up the audio as well. This train's a lot quieter than the Pendo. Apologies if it had been a little bit quiet. Cool. So nice and quick along here. But yeah, once we get to Watford Junction, that will be it. But hopefully everyone's enjoyed it. And obviously thanks to Dovetail for giving us a slot to show the route off. It's a particularly good UK route. As we make our way along. Oh yeah, that was the one thing. Yeah, there's one sort of unfortunate thing about this, about Southern on this route, is the fact, as it's set modern day, only goes to Watford Junction. Whereas if it had been set in 2019, or even just saying what 2021 or so, you'd be able to drive Southern up to Milton Keynes, all the way up the route. But they don't do that anymore. Or even, not even Hemel Hempstead used to go there as well. Going not too far along to Bushy. So when we're getting there. Doesn't take long. Let's get a flyby shot. Cool. There's Carpenter's Park. Which is the stop before Bushy. Cool. Yeah, I wonder what will be next for this route, because there is a possible extension you could do for this route. I don't know if we would see it, but there's a branch line which comes off at Watford Junction, which goes to St Albans Abbey. Let's quickly have a look on here. Yeah, it comes off here and it goes sort of up over to sort of over here. I wonder if we would ever see that added to this route. It's like a little extension. And so I wonder what other DLC we could see for this route as well. This is Bushy. Is that a stopping 350 service coming in there? I think the stoppers are the ones which come all the way down from Milton Keynes. And I believe the next signal is the one which then, I think it's approach control. It's the one which then allows us into Watford Junction, as we have to come like across to the side. So it's still a little way ahead. Cool. Nice and steady, as we might have to come to a stop. It's quite annoying the backs of those signals loading really late, so you could sort of think they're your signals. What about the lights? Cool, here's our red, which is now yellow. Yeah, I'm pretty certain it is approach control. 25 miles an hour, I think, into Watford Junction. Platform, what's that? What was that? B? Bay? B. Bay. And here we are, Watford Junction. So the slow line sort of goes off on its own little bit here, as it goes to Watford High Street stop. Sort of comes off. Here we are. Cool. Oh, it was a fun little run. There's a 390 whizzing through. So we come right across. So you've got the overground platforms over there. Again, you do need the Goblin Line DLC if you want to see the overground trains. And you also have to be on current gen consoles or PC. Funny little platform, this one. And you've also got the little abandoned platform over there as well. There's a St Albans Abbey platform all the way over there. I can't remember if there's stop markers here or not. I don't think there is a stop marker. So basically just stop when we want. There's no point going to the end. Probably turns out the end of the yellow line here, probably where the stop marker is. There we go. Right, let's do that, set that to that, set that to that, and put the tail lights on. I can't remember if you have to lock the doors here or not. Off. Well, there we go. And you'd also pop that down as well, so the cab doesn't heat up in the sun. Well, that is on the other side though. Let's just quickly get the doors shut. Cool, there we go. And this would then go back down to East Croydon. But yeah, here we are at Watford Junction. That does conclude our video as part of the event, as the fast train goes through. Hopefully everyone's enjoyed it. Thanks to Dovetail for giving us the opportunity to show this off. If you haven't seen me before, well, you'll probably be a name and stuff, be a British Ace on YouTube. I'm fortunate enough to work on the real life railway. I get to check tickets and tell people to leave the train. That job. It's fun. Even when people say nasty things, but it's still fun. Apart from that, I shall see you all. Take care. And yeah, I'm sure there'll be another ambassador or another member of the Dovetail team on after this. See you all and take care. Bye, guys.